morning, Geeks and Gamers. I finally stopped playing the Black Ops 6 beta to do a Geeks and Gamers daily show with my good buddy Ryan, who's in a great mood today. What's up, man?
Yeah, I'm always in a good mood. I'm always in a good mood. It looks like YouTube may have started a tick late, but I think we're good now. I think it finally caught up.
It did catch up. I have it pulled up. So
yeah, you know, it's Labor Day, Jeremy. You were supposed to give me the day off. And
yeah.
then you told me this isn't a real job. You don't get the day off.
This is not a real job.
Fuck.
It's not a real job at all. But it is a very stressful job because we have to deal with really, really mean people on the internet, which, I mean, it stresses us out. It puts us in therapy. I don't really know how we make it through a day, Ryan, with all the hate we get and all the toxicity out there and all the anti-male comments. How do you deal with it, Ryan?
Well, I deal with it in the same way that I advise all these fucking Hollywood actors and actresses to deal with it. It's like, it's the fucking internet. That shit's going to happen. Big fucking deal. Like, holy fuck.
Yes, I did. I played the Black Ops 6 beta this weekend, and it's a Call of Duty game. Like, I know there was all this, like, 4 years of development, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first Call of Duty that's had 4 years of development. It's a Call of Duty game.
It just doesn't feel
it's
different
fine.
at all?
No,
or?
the Omni movement is actually pretty cool, for sure. But everything else, like, it's just a Call of Duty game. Like, it's fine, though. I am enjoying it. Mechanically, it's good. The gun mechanics are good. And the Omni movement is really good. It's just that I had to kind of, once I started playing it, I had to kind of really dial back those expectations because it really is just a Call of Duty game. There's really nothing else. There's nothing special about it outside of the Omni movement, which is something you don't even really have to use when playing. And so all that hype around 4 years of development, look, I mean, it's a beta, but we're like a couple months away from the release, so we're not that far off. And there's minor things that they can probably change before the release, but unless there's something I'm not seeing and that we're not seeing overall, it's just another Call of Duty game. That's pretty much it. But it's fun. It is fun. Is it my favorite Call of Duty since Black Ops 2 was Cold War, which was the last Treyarch game, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And so we'll see. But just
what's it feel like?
Game.
Does it play like Modern Warfare 2 or whatever?
It feels more like the Modern Warfare games than Black Ops in terms of the mechanics. But that's because they've added tactical sprint for the first time in a Black Ops game, if I'm not mistaken. Chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Because Black Ops Cold War, you didn't have tac sprint. And this one's added tactical sprint. So, and the thing about Cold War was that Cold War, you felt like the personality of the time and the era was in that game. You could feel the timeline in terms of the surroundings. And this one, it does feel like just a Modern Warfare game in a lot of ways with Omni movement. So, but we'll see. I'll be playing it more. I did stream it last night on my D-Day Cobra Gaming channel. So if anybody wants to go over there and watch, you can check that out.
The last time I played a Call of Duty game was when you made me buy Call of Duty Vanguard for that one fucking stream we did.
Yeah.
I played it one time. I never played it again. I don't know how long ago that was. That's the last time I picked up a Call of Duty game.
Yeah, that was like over 2 years ago. So Vanguard, I actually enjoyed the multiplayer on Vanguard. Everybody else hated it, but I enjoyed it. It wasn't anything special. But yeah, this is another Call of Duty. So just temper your expectations and just understand that it's not like some game-breaking, like, next-level thing you've never seen before. It's Call of Duty with Omni movement. That's what it is.
Yeah. There you go. You just ruined. I was so hopeful for it, Jeremy.
I know you were.
I had it on my wish list. You know, I was like, I'm so excited. Finally, I've been waiting forever for another Call of Duty game to drop. But I guess I'll have to wait longer. Well, you know, it's crazy because back in the day, like those first couple Black Ops games, holy fuck, everybody was so hyped for those.
Yes.
And they were so awesome. Not just the multiplayer, but also just the actual, like, the actual story mode, you know, like the campaign. But yeah, it's a little bit different now.
Yeah, I mean, the Omni movement is cool because, like, there was an instance last night where I was having to reload and there was a guy shooting at me, and I just kind of, like, I hit the back button and my character, like, literally just jumps backwards and lands on his back so he could reload, and then he would have been in position to shoot as soon as that's done, and I dodged the bullets. And so little stuff like that is cool, and there is a learning curve that goes with that part of it. So it will be interesting. One thing they have added, oh my god, so the post game, they have like the top 3 characters standing there. They've added emotes to your fucking characters, and it's the fucking worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's almost like that's almost a deal breaker. Your characters can do fucking Fortnite style emotes now, and it's super gay. It's the worst thing ever. It's like, what are we doing? What in the fuck are we doing? Oh my god,
it's pretty common with a fuck ton of games. Like,
I
nowadays,
know, but Call of Duty doesn't. Okay, let me.
It depends what you put. It depends what it is. If it's fucking like, if you have this like kind of fucking serious game and all this shit, and then you're doing fucking dances, like Fortnite, then it's like, okay,
that bad. It's not that bad.
Like you can salute, or you can put a fist up, or you can like celebrate.
It's really subtle, and yes, I think they had it in Black Ops. I hated Black Ops 3, so I didn't even play Black Ops 3. I hated Black Ops 3 and 4, so I didn't play those games. So
you hated them, but you didn't play them, or you played them and then you hated them.
I played it for like a few rounds and realized these fucking games are trying to be like Titanfall. That's essentially it. Not really, but like, because what was it? Advanced Warfare was the real one. But yeah, the jetpacks, the futuristic stuff. I didn't like Black Ops 3 or 4. I didn't like any Call of Duty after Black Ops 2. I hated all of them until Modern Warfare 2019.
Yeah,
I hated all of them because it was the Advanced Warfare. Which one was the Kevin Spacey one? Was that Advanced Warfare?
I think so. I fucking love that one. I just love the idea of Kevin Spacey being in the game.
Yeah. Take a shot every time Jeremy brings up Titanfall. The greatest first-person shooter of all time. Right there. Titanfall. Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2. Ryan hates Titanfall 2. But with that said, we got Hollywood to make fun of, right?
I wouldn't say I hate Titanfall 2. I think it's fun or whatever. Like, I think the campaign is really solid. Short but solid. The multiplayer's fun. I'm not in love with it like you are.
Oh, man. Best FPS online multiplayer shooter ever made, and it's not even close.
Yeah. Before I played, you just hyped it up so fucking crazy. I'm like, that's okay. Great. It's basically like when everybody tells you that, oh, you got to go to In-N-Out, bro. It's like the best burger in the fucking world, and you're like, holy shit, I'm getting excited for this. And you wait in line for an hour and you get it. You're like, yeah, it's solid.
Titanfall 2 is the best.
That's the kind of like way I viewed Titanfall 2.
You can't overhype Titanfall 2. You can't do it. It's impossible.
All right.
I will go to my grave upset that game didn't get more love. I will go to my grave. That would be my last words. Like, Jeremy, you're about to die. Any last words? Titanfall 2's the GOAT.
You should start it, Jeremy. Just get out hashtag renew Titanfall.
I'm sure that'll work.
Hashtag save Titanfall. And they'll be like, well, I'm sorry, it didn't sell enough copies for us to justify that. You'd be like, no, you're just bigots.
You're just bigots and racist. Everybody that didn't buy Titanfall 2, you're just bigots and racist. That's what I've heard. That's the way you're supposed to approach these things. If I've learned anything from Disney Star Wars fans, racism is the only reason people don't support what I support.
True. Mikey Gussler for $20. Hope y'all are having a great Labor Day and weekend. I drove 2.5 hours from Columbus, Ohio to Noblesville, Indiana. I know some people in Noblesville, and back to see Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie. I also met Alice Cooper, and he's a cool dude, so it was a nice time.
Nice.
Well, Mikey, I'm glad you're having a good weekend.
That's awesome.
Hope everybody out there is, if you got the day off, I hope you're enjoying it and relaxing, or getting drunk or playing video games, whatever it is you want to fucking do. If you have a real job out there, I'm glad you got the day off.
Real jobs for the win.
That's right. Dan Ryman becomes a channel member. Thank you, Dan. Thundarius, my main account, Cyberskull Media, had a video blow up last week and take us from 530 to 998 subs. We're so close to 1,000. You guys are an inspiration. That's awesome, bro. The grind, especially when you're starting the channel, the grind can be tough and frustrating, but all it takes is that one thing to hit, and all of a sudden you're in business. So,
yep.
Awesome, dude.
100%.
Lance, good game last night. Hey, USC won.
Yeah, I was talking shit with Lance last night because I hate USC. So
Yeah, SEC matchups against like actual teams didn't go so great in opening weekend.
I feel like it's probably it's not the discussion to have on this channel, but the landscape of college football has changed. I don't think the SEC is going to be the SEC anymore. I don't think college football is going to be college football anymore. It's going to look completely different with the NIL and the transfer portal.
You just don't like change, you bigot. Slaglust for 5. Soon Outlaws be on sale for 86% off. Clearance sales are healthy for business. LMAO. Thank you, Slaglust. Shadow Saiyan for $20. I was excited for Space Marine 2 until I heard Endymion say it was on a DEI detected radar, and now my hype is gone. Well,
yeah, everybody's talking about Space Marine. Everybody's been talking about Space Marine 2. I need to look into it and see.
The only person, I'll be honest, one of the only people I've heard talk about it is Shadow Saiyan, because he's told us like 50 times about it. Like every day he sends a super chat about it. I know more people are excited for it.
Yeah, there's more people than that for sure. But yeah, you're right. Like, but I've heard quite a few people have brought it up to me. So, but again, I'm not a Warhammer guy, so I don't know much about that world.
Genology. For 2. COD had too much violence in it. Try Dustborn. Yeah. Might take that player count from 14 up to 15 if I decided to play Dustborn. Cider hype for 2. 4-7 CODs ago. Truck driving gamer for 5. Hail Jeremy, you checked out Forever Winter. Looks epic. Happy Labor Day to the working man.
I have not, but happy Labor Day to the truck driving working man, gamer man. That's what's up right there. It's a good combo.
Fuck you, ho, for 199. I've been in war, not like walls. COD is accurate. There you go. Sajid becomes a channel member. Thank you, Sajid. I don't know if I said that right. Charlie Thompson for £2. Titanfall 1 is better.
I mean, there's an argument for sure. I love Titanfall 1, so I'm not gonna fight you on that one. Titanfall is Titanfall, though. They're both great.
Mikey Gussler for 5. Beetlejuice 2 will have early screenings for all audiences this Wednesday. Will you two see it that early, or will you wait for the normal release? If I can find a screening on, I didn't know they were doing early screenings on Wednesday. If I can find one, I'll watch it. Because I'm looking forward to Beetlejuice.
It's not really on my radar. I'm gonna check it out. It hasn't really been on my radar to watch it though. I'm not like overly excited, but I'll probably check it out.
Yeah, like they're very much trying to do everything the same way they did with the original in terms of like practical effects and everything. So I'm looking forward to it. Right, I think it could have a massive weekend.
Think so?
For this type of movie.
So what's the budget for it?
I don't know. I don't think it's a ton. I don't think it's crazy, but I would be shocked if it was anywhere near $100 million. Beetlejuice, hold on, to budget. Beetlejuice budget.
Yeah, I'm interested to see now, because you think there's actually some decent hype around this where it could do decent at the box office.
I think so, yeah. Like, I'm not saying it. I'm not telling you it's going to be $1 billion movie or something.
I know.
But
yeah,
like I think you're going to see like a potential 75, 80, $100 million opening weekend here. That's how much I think it's going to do. One reason being there's not anything else out right now, and there hasn't been really since. I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine, and then you had Alien Romulus, and that's been it. Deadpool Wolverine's still at the top of the box office, mostly because there's not many other options
else.
Right
yeah.
Now. But yeah, I've followed along with some of the Beetlejuice news, and I'm actually looking forward to it. I hope it's solid. Again, I feel like it's the only thing Michael Keaton has any interest in. Like everything else, it just seems like he doesn't give a fuck. He's just there for the paycheck. It seems like he really cares about Beetlejuice. I don't know why, but kind of like Harrison Ford with Indiana Jones. He only that's the only fucking character he has any attachment to that he's ever played.
Remember when we actually thought the Flash movie, like some people did anyway, thought it was going to do like huge numbers, and rightfully so. I understand why, because of the nostalgia, Michael Keaton's Batman coming back, Ben Affleck's Batman being in it. There was a lot of people that thought that was going to do something, and man, what a failure that movie was. It's still hard to believe it failed as bad as it did with those people involved.
That was really one of those movies that they did everything they could. It was so weird because they couldn't use Ezra Miller while marketing the movie, really, because Ezra was just such, like, nobody wanted anything to fucking do with Ezra Miller. Yet he's the star of the movie. So the marketing campaign was weird. They tried to make you feel like it was a Batman movie with Michael Keaton. And they even had like a ton of celebrities came out there and tried to support it and tried to push it. It was a very artificially pushed by celebrities. Now, Tom Cruise didn't like go out and say anything. It was somebody said that I watched this with Tom Cruise and he thought it was amazing. Right?
Yes.
Which is notable that Tom Cruise didn't actually go out there and say anything. Someone was just like, "Oh, I watched it with Tom. I promise you, he loved it." I don't know. That was also while he was working on finalizing a deal with Warner Brothers, I believe.
Yeah, you got all that hype around it too. The Tom Cruise says The Flash is amazing, one of the greatest comic book movies of all time. All these headlines and
yeah, exactly. And so people are like, "Oh, I wonder what this is gonna do." Boom, tanked.
Nothing worked for that movie. Nothing. That's crazy.
I don't think I hated it as much as a lot of other people did. It was just like, it's tough when you have a character like Ezra Miller's Flash that you're just not invested in at all. And I don't think he was as bad as he has been in some other things we've seen him in. I don't think he was as annoying. But then they introduced a second version of him that was supposed to be super fucking annoying. It made you like, I guess this other one's not so fucking bad. Seeing Keaton back was really cool. But them trying to take all these bastardized versions of plot points from like Flashpoint and then Gender Swap and do their spin on it, none of it fucking worked. A lot of the effects looked terrible. The cameos were weird and strange and pointless. And I mean like the cameos at the end. So I don't know, man. It was a mess.
Yeah. I hated it. I hated it. I was completely checked out watching it the whole time. It was a mess. It was all over the place. And I think the best part was George Clooney in the end, just because, like, just to tie a bow into the piece of shit that it was.
Who the fuck are you? It made no sense. We just got a $50 super chat from Elite Neo. Happy Labor Day, bigots. Just threw a Boston butt into the smoker. Gotta have great eats on this day off. Sad to hear the studio that made Visions of Mana folded, considering how loved the Mana series was back in the day. Sign of the times we're in.
It is a sign of the times. And thank you, Elite Neo. I hope everybody's enjoying their Labor Day as well. Yeah, a lot of studios are folding. Some for good reasons, some for not so good reasons. It's just there's so much out there. There's so much competition now. There's so many things to do. So many things pulling people's attention in different directions that it's hard to break through now. It really is.
Yeah. And, sometimes things just end. Sometimes things just get canceled, like The Acolyte.
Nice segue.
That one certainly deserved to be canceled.
Nice segue.
And in the 2 weeks that we've seen since the news broke that The Acolyte has been canceled, it's been really interesting to see the reaction. Of course, on social media, you've got the fans of The Acolyte, the handful of fans that actually do exist for this show. They have not been very happy, and they've been trying to blame it on everything in the world other than reality, which is that nobody tuned in. Nobody really was interested in watching this show, and the people that did give it a chance, they fucking fled immediately because they didn't like it. And we heard just before the weekend, the star Amandla Stenberg and her 8-minute discussion on Instagram about it. And did she acknowledge the poor viewership? Did she acknowledge the vast majority of people didn't like it? No, instead, she once again tried to gaslight everyone into believing that the reason this show failed, the reason it wasn't successful, was because of the alt-right, by hyper-conservative bigotry. And she's not surprised that it got canceled. And I thought it was interesting because it sounded like she had no hope of it being renewed. She was very resigned to the fact that this shit's over. But apparently, Jeremy, one star of The Acolyte, is not giving up hope. He is not going to be he's not going to be stopped. This is his life's goal now, is to continue The Acolyte. And that is Manny Jacinto.
Let's go!
Manny Jacinto's comment about The Acolyte Season 2 will break Star Wars fans' hearts. I don't know about that. It might break Collider readers' hearts. I don't think it's going to break Star Wars fans' hearts.
Hold on. Is there a such thing as a Collider reader in 2024?
I think there's some out there, you know. I think there's some. Whenever I search things and I see a really dumb headline, I become a Collider reader. So maybe there's a couple out there. But Manny Jacinto was at Dragon Con over the weekend and was asked specifically about, some goals that he would want to achieve in life. And he was asked this by someone with a lisp. But this is what he said.
A goal of mine to achieve? Yeah. Something else that you want to make sure you do before you leave this mortal coil. Season 2 of The Acolyte?
He's not giving up, Jeremy. Manny Jacinto is not giving up hope. He's trying to keep the Acolyte alive, and he's not going to stop. That is his one of his goals in life.
Oh, man. That is hilarious right there. I want to see more. Please, let's do it. Bring it back. We need the Acolyte Season 2. I love how you have people in the audience cheering. Most of them didn't even watch the show. Some of them probably did, for sure.
Well, listen, if this is a panel and people are going there to see Manny Jacinto, there's a chance that a lot of people out there are fans of his. You know what I mean? That a lot of people that did watch the Acolyte, they might be there in the audience. But that's not consequential in the grand scheme of things. However, go ahead.
Oh, well, I actually think he's a really good actor. I said, well, from what I saw from him in the Acolyte, I thought he was by far the best thing in the Acolyte. By far, his performance. He was really, really good. But ultimately, what you're going to see is the people, the 17 people that are on Twitter wanting this show to come back. They're going to hang on to this, and they're going to show that, there is a movement out there, Disney. There's a movement of the same people that are crying about racism and sexism want this movie or this show to return. It's not coming back. Again, you have to understand, Disney didn't want to cancel this show. They didn't want to. There's not a bone in their body. It's not an executive of that company. There's not a single person that actively wanted to cancel this show. They had to, because it did not give a return on the investment that they put into it by a wide margin, apparently. We're talking next level, because they could have taken a small loss on this show and continued it on. They could not have taken the massive loss that this show gave them. And that's ultimately what it comes down to. It's just simple business. It's really that simple. It's business, and it did not turn a profit at all. It's not coming back. Just like you're not getting, Ezra Miller's Flash, the next Ezra Miller Flash movie. You're not getting it. Not happening. Nobody cares about this universe. Nobody. It's over.
I think that when you do look, I was 50-50 on whether this thing was going to get renewed, right? That was my
time. Yeah,
that was my idea. After the finale and after we saw the poor viewership, I was 50-50 because no one in their right mind should have renewed the Acolyte. But this is also Disney. This is also Lucasfilm, who oftentimes are making decisions that are not solely based on the bottom line, that sometimes are based in the message and what agenda they want to put and what they want to be able to brag about. So I was 50-50 whether this thing would get canceled or not. I think Lucasfilm is full of some of the people that have made the dumbest possible decisions imaginable. But Manny Jacinto not giving up hope that the Acolyte could come back. I feel like that is a stark difference from the way Amanda Stenberg, her reaction to it. It didn't feel like there was any hope at all. It was pretty much, so it's been canceled, and I'm not even surprised that it's been canceled because of all you racists out there.
Yeah, imagine if she would have came out with a video and said, hey guys, just want to talk about, the announcement of the Acolyte Season 2. Obviously, I'm sad. Really appreciate all the fans that have rallied around us and, embraced us. And I think that if we can, mobilize together in a positive fashion and just let Disney know that we would like to see this season return, maybe we can make some noise. Maybe we can do something out there. But it's really just going to come down to if they see a reason from a business standpoint to bring the show back. And so maybe there's an opportunity there. But if that never happens, I'm really thankful for all the opportunities I had, yada, yada, yada. Imagine the reaction to something like that. Now, his reaction, look, he's working the room.
Yeah.
As a streamer, I can appreciate that. As a Trump fan, I can appreciate that. He's working the room. There's nothing wrong with working the room that you're in. And he didn't say anything disrespectful about the audience. He goes, well, if we could get rid of all those racists, we could get Acolyte Season 2 back. Like, there's nothing wrong with what he said. There's nothing. It's not going to happen, but there's nothing wrong with what he said ultimately. And playing to the crowd is okay. And he did just that. And he is the best part of the show, in my opinion. Do you think he was the best part?
I think that I thought he was good in it in terms of the performance he gave. I did like when he switched between the kind of mewling assistant type of personality and his like Chimera personality, kind of like on a whim when he saw OSHA or May or whoever, I forget. I thought he gave a fine performance. At the end of the day, I think Amanda Stenberg gave a horrific performance. I think Rebecca Henderson gave a horrific performance. I thought Soul, the actor who played Soul, I actually thought he was one of the best parts in terms of him being able to emote something, even though he can't fucking speak English.
I couldn't stand him. I thought he was terrible. I
actually think he had gave one of the best acting performances. But the problem for all of these characters, it doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter if it's fucking Denzel Washington in there, given the performance of his life. The writing was so awful that it's hard to appreciate some of those things. Because like some of the things that Soul does makes no fucking sense. Some of the things that Chimera does and some of his dialogue makes no fucking sense. So it really, takes some shit away from any performance he was giving if what they're talking about is nonsensical.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I didn't think Soul's performance was as good as you and a few others think. I thought he was absolutely fucking terrible. I couldn't understand a word that he said. I think
you're just actually racist, Jim. That must be it. Yeah. I'm very welcoming to people of other cultures, to people of other races, to people.
Well, you were the DEI officer, so of course you're trying to get that job with Disney right now, that the diversity, inclusion, and representation officer.
Hey, their dental benefits are better than what I get at Geeks and Gamers. All right, so that's what I'm looking at. Disney, I'm still available. I'll fucking leave here. I'll come and save your company. All right.
Oh man, but yeah, look, big ups to him. I have no problem with him saying this. He said nothing wrong. He was cool about it. I mean, based on that clip we have, and it made the people happy there, which is totally fine. So overall,
it's a better reaction than so the things we've seen so far. The guy who played Master Solid simply said in an interview promoting something else, maybe Squid Game 2. I don't know what the fuck he's in next. But he said, I was surprised to hear it was canceled. I hope maybe someday we'll eventually be able to see it. Rebecca Henderson, Leslie Headland's wife, shared stories on Instagram of, screenshots of tweets of people essentially saying the reason it was canceled is because of racist, bigoted fans. That's why it got canceled. That was her reaction.
To be clear, Leslie Headland is Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant as well. Just want to point that out in case there was anyone in the audience that was not aware that Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant is Leslie Headland, the person that was the showrunner behind The Acolyte. So just want to put that out there.
I didn't know that. Thank you for informing me.
Just want to educate the people, man. Just want to educate the people.
This is the first time I'm hearing this.
We need to get that clip of put that in the StreamYards. You're telling me this for the first time. I didn't know that.
For the first time. But I forget what I was saying. And then obviously Amanda went all in on, saying it was canceled because of racism, misogyny, bigotry, blah, blah, blah. So far, Manny Jacinto, he posted that last picture of him and OSHA holding hands over the lightsaber with the sun going down with just a heart. And this is what he said. So he's not sitting there fucking blaming fans or whatever. And I agree. I would do the same thing in terms of if I was proud of what I did and I wanted another season, this is the approach I would take. I think what you said, what Amanda Stenberg should say, I think that's the right way to go about it too. It's not hard. This shit is not hard to do. No. Sometimes the things you're a part of fail and they get canceled. Not every single show in Hollywood is going to go on forever. That's just reality. And what you do is you be appreciative, you be a little bit humble, you thank the people that actually did support it. You don't sit there and try to make excuse after excuse and blame all these other people who you needed to have it be an actual success. Instead, take the way Ron Howard reacted to Solo's failure, right? He's like, listen, I'm proud of what we did, and I thought we made a great movie, and I'm sorry more people don't feel the same way, but I'm glad for all the people that did enjoy it. So fucking easy. But for a lot of these, I talked about this a little bit yesterday on my stream, for so many of these young woke activist actresses, they're not professionals in that way. They would rather put out their message. They would rather speak out about these things than do something that would actually make sense and not harm that brand.
Yep. They don't care.
They don't. They care way more about their activist stuff.
Yes, they do.
That's why Rachel Zegler will put a very politically charged statement attached to her promotion of the Snow White movie, while Gal Gadot is currently undergoing a lot of like pressure from people just simply because she's Israeli, like your co-star. Like, they do not care. They're all about activism above everything else.
You are correct.
Long
pause there.
Well, I'm looking for this. Bold Ophidia. This is clickbait. The title implies you're talking about an actor, not Amanda Stenberg. You're talking about Manny Jacinto, you dumb retard. What the fuck are you talking about?
And let me be clear. When you accuse us of clickbait, we want to confirm 100% that is exactly what we do around these parts. Because that's what every fucking channel does on YouTube is clickbait, because that is what YouTube is. That's what the fucking internet is. What is the fucking point of posting something on the internet to get someone to fucking click on it? Clickbait is overused just like everything else. God, man. Like, clickbait is something that is like, I'm presenting something to you, and the thing that I am presenting once you click on it is 100% not representative of what I've put in my title or thumbnail. That is clickbait.
Yeah,
clickbait is not like I'm presenting you a topic and I'm giving you the topic I'm presenting. That is not clickbait. Jesus Christ, these people are stupid.
Clickbait is not, hey, I made a thumbnail and a title that might have a little like mystery around it and might encourage you to click on it to find out what this is about. Clickbait. The word clickbait should be reserved for, like you said, actual bullshit. Yes. Things that are actually not real. Like if I click on this thing, this dude just died in the most insane way, and it's a video of somebody petting a turtle.
Yes.
Like, what is that? Anyway, where were we? Let's catch up with some of these. We did Sajid. Look at how much money the Borderlands movie made worldwide at movie prices. Now compare the Concord Games revenue at $40 per copy to that. Yikes. I don't. Are you saying no one's playing Concord? I mean, I agree, no one's playing Concord.
No one.
But yeah, I mean, Concord is estimated to have sold about 25,000 copies, and I think that might be being generous at $40 a pop. I mean, $40 a pop, you're talking about $1 million total in sales for a game that reportedly cost Sony $200 million. That's pretty rough.
Massive failure.
Taker for 5. Now Sauron has to recruit orcs like he's the U.S. military. It's lucky all the clones obeyed Order 66 instead of going home to play Titanfall 2. Oh, the orcs. Can't wait to not play Outlaws. Well, you don't have to wait any longer to not play Golden Nugget. The wait to not play is over. Dave Nunn for 199. You see about a 49ers player getting pew-pewed in San Francisco? Yes, we did. We covered it on our sports channel called Sports Wars.
Yes, we did.
Theseus Minor for 35. I'd invite you to White Conda too, Jeremy, but I heard you're taking a rocket to Uranus and Uruguay.
Thank you.
You hear Dan's moving to Uruguay?
Sounds about right. So we can use Twitter?
I think so, yeah.
Or X.
Let's see. Remember when Marvel DC called paying customers fake fans because they hated woke shit? Hi, Yellow Flash. Tell Gothic Sushi I said hi. Thanks, Slaglust.
Hail Yellow Flash. He's got a comic coming out soon.
I heard, yeah. The Mighty Golden Patriot, is that right?
Did I say that one right? Jay's is Achromatic Chronicles Green's coming out too. And rumor is we have a comic coming out.
What, us?
Yeah.
I hope that's not true. We're not writing a fucking comic.
That's the only reason we're friends with Ripa. Because we have a comic coming
apparently.
out. Yeah.
I've said this like multiple times because it will come up. But one, the idea that, a lot of people are getting into doing crowdfunding. Yeah, people have been doing that a while now. YouTubers have been doing that a while now. But people have asked me a handful of times about that. I have no interest in ever doing something like that because I don't feel like I have a creative bone in my body. I don't feel like that's something like I don't think that that's something I'm good at. So I don't have any stories that I would want to tell.
Well, then why are you friends with Ripa?
I don't know. Helps my social credit score.
Gotta fucking use him for something.
Apparently.
I mean, well, it's outside of deflecting that we're not racist. We have a black friend. That works good too, though. So
it works well.
Yeah. It does.
Turkey based her for 2. Warhams is best. Thank you. Mikey Gussler for 5. Michael Keaton said that out of all the characters he's played over the years, Beetlejuice is his very favorite character of all time.
That makes sense. Somebody said it humanizes Ryan to have a black friend.
Oh, does it? That's good. That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going for. And Mikey clarifies he meant favorite character. Yes, I believe you.
Yeah.
Like Michael Keaton did this entire fucking skit. You know, the Hot Wings things that people do where they talk about shit. He had an entire skit of that. Him as Michael Keaton and him as Beetlejuice, interviewing him.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like I feel like he cares way more about this than some other shit.
It's
you
kind of
talking recently about the Batgirl movie.
I didn't hear that.
So obviously, Michael Keaton,
the comment. Yes, the comment, because you told me about the comment he made.
Yeah, Michael Keaton was supposed to be in the Batgirl movie. He was. They'd filmed this thing, and he was asked, "Are you sad that it got canceled?" He's like, "Not really. It was a good paycheck. I feel bad for everybody else involved, but I didn't really care."
Yeah,
just like holy fuck.
He did. He's like,
he's honest.
He's moving to his Harrison Ford era now. That's where he's at. He's moving into his Harrison Ford era, where Harrison Ford famously does not care about Han Solo at all. But there's other things he does care about. But he will straight up tell you in a heartbeat, like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I love it.
Maybe this new Captain America movie is actually like a backdoor sequel to Air Force One. Where we get to see him as president again. It is also kind of crazy that when that movie was made, Harrison Ford was cast as president and believable as a president. He was probably in his late 40s then or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe on the edge of 50.
Yeah, I think so.
In that realm, because Air Force One was probably in the mid 90s.
Yes, God, that was such a huge movie at the time too, man.
It was awesome. I love
Get
Off My Plane.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking love that movie.
Yeah, that and The Fugitive.
And he was believable as a president then.
Yes.
And now, 30 years later, he's also believable as president at the age of fucking 80. Right? It's just funny.
I think did The Fugitive come out before?
I think
Air Force One.
Before Air Force One, right?
I'm pretty sure.
I feel I have a feeling that Fugitive was very early 90s and Air Force One was a little more mid, but I'm just guessing. Harrison Ford filmography, we're gonna find it.
Alec Baldwin's finger for 50 gifted memberships. Look at that. ABF. Don't miss. Except for Jessica. He missed Jessica. Jessica said it. You missed me, ABF. But I've told the story before about The Fugitive and Braveheart. So back in the day, during the Blockbuster video days, the way that you would always, or the way I would always tell, there it is, Fugitive 93, Air Force One 97. So
yeah, I was waiting for you
the way that I would get hyped for a movie is how many copies Blockbuster Video would have of something. So I would go in, and I would see like, oh my God, they've got a whole wall of Braveheart. They've got a whole wall of Fugitive, and they were always out. Always. And so it like built this hype of every Friday night when I would go to Blockbuster with my family. I would go in there, and the first thing I would do would go over to the Fugitive wall and the Braveheart wall, and they were always out. And then finally there was like one day where one of them was in, it was like the holy light was shining down, and I like run over there to grab it real quick to make sure, and I protect it. And I'm scared people are gonna jump me for it or whatever. Like I'm like, this is the holy grail right here. And it was amazing when I finally watched both those. But Blockbuster video days, man, those were the days.
I used to love when they were getting rid of the fucking shit. They'd have their like $5 sales. Yeah, I'd scoop up a bunch of awesome movies on those Blockbuster video sales, and about 1 out of every 10 just wouldn't work because the disc was all scratched to shit.
Yeah. That Hollywood Video. Did you have a Hollywood Video?
I didn't have one as close to me. I'd been to them, but I didn't. Blockbuster was right down the street from me, basically.
Okay. So we have Movie Gallery, Blockbuster, and then Hollywood Video. The first time I saw a Hollywood Video was in Pensacola, Florida. And I didn't live in Pensacola at the time, but it was the first time I went to Pensacola, and I'm like, holy shit, they have a Hollywood Video. And you go in there, and it's like different, designs, and you think like, I'm in the future because you're in a Hollywood Video. It's literally the same thing, just, as a Blockbuster, just different designs. But it was
I had a Blockbuster and a Family Video.
I remember Family Video. Yeah. There weren't too many of those though.
I don't think so, no.
Yeah. Movie Gallery was Movie Gallery and Blockbuster, but Blockbuster was the king. That was the one right there.
That's right. Titanfall the movie, the video game. It's coming, Jeremy.
It said they got the Jennifer Lawrence in there from that Titanfall looking movie. Atlas, I think is what it was called.
It was a rough movie. The singing Tigs for 2. Jeremy's looking Trump orange today. Hail IDOT 199.
Yeah, my camera's all fucked, so
good. Mine's always fucked. SBZ member for 15 months. Jeremy's so excited for Black Ops 6 because he can be used as a human shield and be whispered, "That's not a gun in my pocket."
You can grab somebody as a human shield now. So like if you run up behind them, you grab them, and then you can walk around and shoot their teammates and use them as a shield. So that's kind of a cool little thing.
How long can you hold on to them, and can they get out?
They can call for help. So when you get grabbed as a human shield, it gives you the option to call for help. There's a little timer circle. So it lasts 10, 15 seconds, maybe something like that.
You just shoot yourself?
I didn't see the option to self-delete. I didn't see the option for that, but you can call for help.
Turkey based her. Join our global, not a cult, the Hash House Harriers. We've been getting drunk and staying fit since 1938. Thank you. Buddy Rabbit for 5. I like Jacinto in Good Place. He just doesn't fit here. Man's funny. He didn't seem very funny in this one. I don't know if I've seen him in anything else, though. John Charles Wooten. Star Wars in the gutter. Deep, deep down inside it. I don't know if we can save it, but if someone tries to do it, it might take a long time for it to happen. For now, there's very little to no hope for Star Wars. Welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah, that's kind of how Star Wars fans have been feeling for a long time now. It's pretty much... I mean, look, the attitude, Ryan's attitude on it, and I think that it's a good attitude, is it doesn't change anything that happened in the past. You can go back and read, the EU. You can enjoy all these stories, and none of it really does impact it unless you allow it to impact it. For me, I've just become almost like, I don't even want to watch the original trilogy, but a lot of that's just because of Mark Hamill at this point. I fucking hate Mark Hamill so much. I just despise him as a human being to the point where anything that he's attached to, it's bled over into that. The prequels are really the only thing that I even care about anymore. I just hate all of Star Wars except for that, pretty much.
Yeah, none of it has really affected my enjoyment of other shit at all, to be honest. It's almost made me appreciate it more, if I'm being real.
I understand that. That makes sense.
Especially going back and...
don't get me wrong. You watch the original trilogy. It's amazing. You're never going to get rid of those memories. You know what I mean? Like, you're never going to get rid of the greatness of The Empire Strikes Back. But it's just like, Mark Hamill's so fucking pathetic at this point. It sucks. It really, really does suck. Go ahead. I interrupted you.
I was just going to say that, the one thing, I will say one thing that I think has been a positive for Star Wars that really almost no one cares about but me to come out of all this has been the fact that some of the old EU books that had never actually had full-length audiobooks, they'd always had abridged audiobooks, which are cringe and gay. Abridged audiobooks are the dumbest fucking thing in the world. Nobody wants an abridged audiobook. No one wants to take a book that's fucking 15 hours if you read it and cut it down to 3 hours. It doesn't make any sense. But they've actually released a lot of those. So I've got to hear for the first time some of those done by, in my opinion, they do great work for the Star Wars audiobooks. But like Rogue Squadron, the X-Wing series, never had those full-length, non-abridged ones available. Now they are. So I've got to enjoy those in a different way. That's like the one positive thing that I think has come out of Disney buying Star Wars.
Yeah.
Which has very little effect on anyone other than myself. But hey, I'll take what I can get. Over on Rumble, Aberjam. If Tonga Vailoa played for Seattle, would that make him the Hawk Tua guy? Yes. Switzerland Play IT. Babyface Jeremy. Next time, shame QBG for not streaming on Rumble too. He's missing.
Well, I actually forgot to set up my Rumble and Kick streams last night when I played Black Ops 6. That was the first time I've done that in a long time. So, because we had the Smash Bros stream, so I was on the Smash Bros stream, and then jumped over to Black Ops 6. So, but I'm always in favor of shaming Quarter Black Garrett.
That's true. Saint Bowser for 5. Any plans to play Space Marine 2? Multiplayer looks a bit like Gears of War.
It does look like Gears from what I've seen. I don't know if it's going to play like Gears of War, but multiplayer does look like Gears.
Vault 95 survivor for $1. Pull up that Theme Park Disasters channel for perfect example of clickbait thumbnails. They're pure gold.
Yes,
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yes. Vault 95 survivor for $1. Heard Leslie Headland is a huge fan of Titanfall 2. Jeremy, maybe she'll bring it back.
Maybe she'll bring it back. Maybe she'll bring it back.
It'd be great.
Listen,
you finally figure out what the robot's pronouns are. I'm just saying. Speaking of disasters,
Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah, Star Wars Outlaws. Because obviously we saw the problems with the early access for Star Wars Outlaws, the bugs that existed, the idea that they actually had to force a patch and force people to restart their games despite the fact that they'd paid $50, $70 extra just to get early access to this thing. That was embarrassing. Some of the clips that we've seen about the game, whether it's from Asmongold, whether it's just floating around on Twitter, there's a lot of problems just technically and with the gameplay for the game itself. But now we're finally figuring out what the reactions to it are. The Metacritic scores, Jeremy, not great. Not great for Star Wars Outlaws, is across all platforms, it's sitting anywhere from 4.5 to 4.8. That has been the reaction right now. And I can't imagine Ubisoft is happy with people feeling this way about a huge budget and one of the biggest marketing campaigns they've ever had for a video game.
Yeah, well, they deserve it. And this thing has been laughably bad with some of the clips that you've seen on social media, and it's not isolated. I've seen people that generally don't really get negative about a lot of stuff, and they have just been ripping Star Wars Outlaws to shreds, man. It is a colossal failure. No game should release this broken, especially a game with this. What do we know what the budget was for this game?
I have not seen any actual estimates, but you'd have to imagine when we're talking about a game like this, probably in the multiple $100 million of range, 150, 200 million, somewhere around there. And and according to them, one of the biggest marketing campaigns they've ever had for a game.
Yeah, and I mean, Ubisoft's just continued to do this over and over again. We've seen it more times than we can count with them. They've lost the trust of the customer, the trust of the audience. They continue to release broken game after broken game. This is why I'm just going to continue to talk about how much. This is why I trust Nintendo over any of these companies, because at least I know that you're going to get a completed game with Nintendo. You just are. You're going to get a completed game, and it's not going to be a broken piece of shit. How many AAA titles have we seen like this? Like, I'm still not convinced Black Ops 6 is going to be completed by the time it's released. It'll probably be better than things like Cyberpunk or something like this, but this is what Ubisoft does.
And, as a result of this and some of the bad PR surrounding it, They have now reduced their estimates for how much they think this game is actually going to sell. Star Wars Outlaws sale forecast looks grim, analysts conclude. Estimated sales down by 3 million. Ubisoft sales forecast for Star Wars Outlaws has been significantly lowered. Analysts predict sales of only 5 million copies, down from 8 million just a few weeks ago. The company hopes Assassin's Creed Shadows will compensate for any sales shortfall. Good luck with that one. That's another game that's kind of shrouded in controversy.
And let's be clear, like any indie game or a game not tied to any IP pre-existing, they would kill for those level of sales. For those level of sales.
This
because
is Star Wars. This is Ubisoft.
Exactly.
This is never going to be a Dustborn situation.
Right, right. But any that's the whole point. That's the context that goes with it. Because people will look at it in isolation and go, well, it's sold X amount of millions of copies. It's a success. No, it's not. That's not a success when you're dealing with the biggest IP in history and a massive gaming company like this with the budget they've put behind this. No, this is a failure, a massive failure. But any other studio, any other game that's not tied to an IP would kill for those sales. Absolutely.
And to put that in perspective, what an $8 million estimate over the first several months of release for the game, that's what we're talking about. That would put it on par with something like Jedi Fallen Order. That was estimated in the first couple months to sell between 8 and 10 million copies after its release. Now you're taking it down to about half of that, right? So that's what you're looking at. This is what Ubisoft thought internally that this game would do, and now people are starting to significantly lower those estimates. Combination of bad PR and just probably underperforming sales. But there are some redeeming qualities about this, Jeremy. I found this article right before we went live. One small Star Wars Outlaws moment gets autism representation right. And I know you've been wondering about this. I know you've really been asking for this.
I can't wait to hear this one. Ryan's already thinking about what he can say to counter what I say so we don't get clipped, so he adds some balance to it. That's what you guys don't realize.
Pulled this up, all right?
Go ahead.
While playing through the first few hours of Star Wars Outlaws, I found myself once again presented with the all too familiar trope. I didn't know this was a trope. Apparently, according to them, it is. ND5, the game's primary droid crewmate to Cave S, appeared to be yet another autism-coded droid that is typically played for laughs or treated as other by the main cast. He's introduced as a stoic and serious character who appears to have no sympathy for anything but his mission. A droid. Got it. Once he and Kay officially team up, he's given the role of the straight man. Kay will quip and make ironic or sarcastic comments that ND5 responds to with sincerity. Whenever she's asking a question, he delivers his honest answer without cushioning the blow if it would be insulting. In times when Kay wants to act based on emotion, he counters with cold logic. Generally speaking, these are all common traits those on the autism spectrum present.
Jesus Christ.
I think maybe it might just be a droid. Maybe
the fact that
they might be treating robots as robots.
The fact that they've made that leap from a droid is absolutely like when you are actively looking for these things, you will find anything to justify it. My goodness. Do you really think that the people behind this were actively going out of their way to make a droid have autism representation? My goodness, dude.
Hey, who knows? Maybe.
I mean,
but
to be fair, though, it's
crazy to make the jump from, hey, sometimes people with autism take things a little too literally to, well, look at this robot who has no emotion. He must be autism coded.
God. Holy shit, man.
God damn, bro. Like,
good Lord. We've always wanted Mark the Cyborg to have representation. He finally has it.
There it is.
Crap, man. Good Lord. Jeez, I was not expecting that one. Man.
I know. I found out right before the stream, and I was like, I just have to laugh at it because, like, I'm not gonna make a video about it or anything, but I had to laugh.
Holy crap. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Another day on the internet of dumb people writing stupid shit, trying to justify their need to constantly have representation and diversity and inclusion and all that other bullshit. Good Lord.
D's Webos, I'm in New Orleans for Labor Day weekend. Why didn't anyone tell me this place is full of figs for Southern decadence? This place is gross. I don't know. I've been to New Orleans once. I didn't see too many gay people there. I saw a lot of whores.
New Orleans is it depends on what part of New Orleans you're in, but yeah, it's interesting there.
I was on Bourbon Street where it smelled like piss. Saw some black chick who had drank way too much, was passed out on the street, and her friends couldn't wake her up.
It is very interesting there, and that's all I'll say.
I went there with Jay. John Getz for 5. Great Labor Day. Then playing games while listening to the OGs. The Super Bigot Bros. The Ferocious Figs. The Toxic Twosome. Acolyte still sucks, by the way.
Let's go.
Thank you, John.
So you've only been in New Orleans once in your life?
Yeah, like actually gone there. It was only for a couple hours.
Okay.
At least I think. I don't think I've ever gone there. I've driven through it, but I've never stopped to do anything.
Yeah, it's an interesting place. It's an interesting place. You didn't want to go see the Saints play at the Superdome?
I mean, if randomly the opportunity presented itself, sure, but it's not on my bucket list.
I gotta go to a Dolphins game this year, man. You wanna go to a Dolphins game with me this year?
Maybe.
So you can see the greatness of Tua.
Maybe. There's always a 50% chance we might see him break every bone in his body, so I might go just for that.
Think positively, Ryan.
I am. George Ramirez for 5. Happy Labor Day, guys. T-minus 8 days for Comrade Kamala versus Donatello for the grand debate. I can't wait to see her finally get exposed to the world. Hugs.
Gonna be a wild one. I'll be covering it on CobraCast.
Mike Hill for 5. They should have went with the original idea and got Keanu Reeves to play Saul. I'm glad Keanu Reeves didn't attach his name to this thing. I'm glad he was fucking busy with whatever he was doing. Wouldn't have changed my opinion on the show at all. Mandalore for 10. I can't take Manny seriously as any serious character. First time I saw him, he was a moronic stoner Jaguars fan in The Good Place. Can't separate him from that performance. Kymir was really him. Spelled with a Q, like queer. AD the Demon Slayer. If the Acolyte would have come out 3 years ago with the same shitty numbers, it would definitely have a second season. Potentially.
Yeah.
It depends. A lot of it depends on the context. Andor, for example, did not have great viewership numbers to start, but it continued to climb and climb and climb as people were told about it and more people watched it. And by the end, it was over double the amount of people that were watching The Acolyte, even though it didn't start off great. If Acolyte had started off really poorly and then maybe climbed and climbed to where it was, maybe you could make some kind of argument. I don't think they should have had a Ahsoka season 2. In a normal world, I don't know if Ahsoka would have been renewed for a second season. Those numbers were really fucking bad. But considering it's Dave Filoni's
and they have other stuff,
project.
And they have other stuff tied into the character and all that.
Yeah, 100%. John Getz for 2. Ray's killed off in minutes if Disney hires Ryan. I don't know about that. Animating Andy for 2. Let's be fair. Current activists love attacking fake. Larry J for 5. You want a masterclass in actual clickbait? Read any Paul Tassi article. C&D Designs for 5. Hail the queen of the 199. Hail chat 199. IDOTS Ripa. I agree with Jay, but do I? Beardo stop skipping leg day. Trump 2024.
Got all of them in there. That's what's up.
Mike Hill for 5. Today's the 51st anniversary of J.R.R. Tolkien's death. Right now, he's rolling in his grave. It's the second time he's rolled in the past 2 years. Animating Andy for 2. If Dan V is moving, will he finally use real money? I don't know. You have to ask him. Uruguay. Shadow Saiyan for $10. I'll still be playing Warhammer when it comes out. I need a hack and slash game.
Shadow Saiyan's hyped.
Dell Life Dan, happy Labor Day to all my fellow laboring on Labor Day workers. I'm not stopping the grind to celebrate a commie holiday. Thank you. Golden Nuggets for 2. I want to see Krista play Squirrel with a Gun.
Oh, yeah. She talked about that.
Squirrel with a Gun does look funny.
Yeah.
Jessica Avery. Deadpool 3 has me going back to watch old MCU phase 1 through 4. How is CGI from 14 years ago so much better than what we get from today? Because it wasn't used as much. And when it was used to enhance shit instead of just them relying completely
they rely on it now,
everything.
yeah. They're reliant upon it now.
And so, one, that makes the amount of CGI work that has to be done so much more instead of these visual effects guys, instead of these visual effects studios having, say, 250 frames of a movie that need VFX shots. Now they have like 3,500 or 6,000 or whatever number you want to throw out there. Like almost every part of the movie needs visual effects touched up, that CGI. So it's completely different nowadays. But yes, I agree. Actually, the announcement of Robert Downey Jr. made me want to rewatch a couple of his movies. Scotty, Mark Hamill's the guy from high school. He's still telling old stories we've heard a million times and pretend like it's the first time. Mikey, if Disney Star Wars wants my money, they should release an edition of Star Wars episodes 1 through 6 with multiple cuts for all 6 films. Examples: a 6-hour cut for Phantom Menace, 5-hour for Attack of the Clones, 4-hour cut of Revenge of the Sith. I would love to see any and all footage we have. I don't know if it would necessarily be able to make it into the full cut or not.
And I don't think they're going to release it anyway. They're focused on moving us away from that stuff, not embracing it more.
Let's see. Shadow Saiyan for 10. Jeremy, I appreciate you for being autism coded.
Thank you.
AD the Demon Slayer, ND5 apparently stands for neurodivergent. Wasn't the fucking synth in Alien Romulus also called ND? They called him Andy. Is fucking ND something? Jolly Roger for 5. Sent XDM to both of you. Lyrics for TNME intro. Wrote it back when RK was there. I think it's pretty good. Jeremy Prime, best rapper alive.
I would agree with that. I'll check it out.
Animating Andy. All these narcissistic wokies and activists attempting to find even the smallest thing to justify, make themselves look good is so pathetic, weak, and obviously being fake. Social media disease.
I did get your DM, Jolly Roger. I'm looking at it now, so I'll check it out later.
Turkey based her for 2. Does anyone still play Mordheim? Not me.
Not me.
And I think...
What is Mordheim anyway? It's like a tabletop game or something, I think. Let's see here.
I think we're all caught up, Jeremy.
Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's a tabletop game. You should probably check out Geeks and Gamers Tabletop. I'm sure some people over there might be interested in that. So, all right. So, thank you guys for another awesome Geeks and Gamers Daily. Thank you to ABF for those 50 Get the memberships. Thank you for all the super chats. What do you got going on, Ryan?
Videos.
That's it. That's it. If you want to check out my Black Ops 6 gameplay, D-Day Cobra Gaming, you can go check that out. Played that last night. A lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the game, but just lower your expectations in terms of like thinking it's some kind of transcendent thing, because it's not. We obviously have gaming tonight. I don't know what game we're playing, and then I got Cobra Cast. So that'll be on Geeks and Gamers Play and on D-Day Cobra. Ryan for Tuesday's main event tomorrow.
I didn't see this. Chikara. No.
He faked you out. Oh, you meant the Steam version? Oh, okay. Do not know. But thank you for the super chat. All right, guys. Have a great day, and we'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone. Oh, never mind. We got one more. Where'd it go? Hi for 10. Well, thank you.
Thanks. 1E05.
1E05. So that's a $10 super chat to end the stream. That's a pretty good way, right?
Anioe. I don't know how to fucking say that shit. But yes, thank you. Hi.
Aren't you being mean about their name? They sent $10.
I'm not. Hi. I'm upset that I don't know how to say it. I'm not being mean.
They were being very nice.
I don't know if that's on the scale of niceness. That might be like a 5.5. Like,
why don't you say like 1, maybe OE5?
1 OE5.
Is it just 1-1?
Why would it be 1-1?
I don't know. I'm just trying to. I'm sounding this thing out right now. So, Sideways Stan says bye.
Bye.
I like how we're just so focused on how to say his name, you know? So, anyway, thank you guys. Have a great day. And we'll talk to you later. Bye, everyone.